the start of this week's episode of SmackDown saw everybody left in the Women's US title tournament arrived at the building. Then I got distracted, and when I looked back at the screen, Sikoa was there, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's going after that belt. Obviously, I was totally wrong. Also, hello, my friends, and welcome to Ups and Downs with I, Simon Miller, and I appreciate you joining me. Listen, Saturday night's main event is happening in a few hours, and of course, we'll up those downs as soon as it is done, which means this time tomorrow, Kevin Owens could be the WWE champion. Now, I know it's a long shot, and I love Cody Rhodes, but I need certain things in my life. A wig, and Kevin Owens being the champion. Let's up those downs. Jimmy Uso also started SmackDown this week, and he came out on a crutch because he broke his toe in the War Games. Now listen, I've broken my toe before, and I can tell you this, it absolutely sucks. Uso also told us that the cage didn't get Big Jim, but it did get his toe, which is the oddest sentence I've ever heard in my life. Otherwise, he was just a super babyface here. For any stupid fantasy booking I did, well, I think I'm completely wrong. He is so happy for all of his family, though. He talked about Roman Reigns, he talked about Jey Uso, and he even said he was proud of Sikoa. He's like, I don't have to like the guy, but he is my flesh and blood man. And well, it's just nice to see him doing well, even though he's a complete psychopath. At one point, it really sounded like he was going to retire, when instead he started talking about 2025 and was like, maybe I'll go after the US title, maybe I'll go after the world title, and essentially drew a line under the fact that the Usos aren't going to get back together as a tag team, and they will indeed go after individual success. Now listen, I actually be fine with Jimmy Uso becoming the world champion, because let's give everybody a go, but that is never going to happen. But I tell you, him as the US champion, well, I've searched my feelings, I think we should do it. You just knew he was going to get got eventually, because poor Jimbo always gets got, and as soon as he turned around, Drew McIntyre here, and he was like, ooh, surprise, and he Claymored Jim right in the face. Then he basically started laughing, and he was pounding him in the face, till eventually the useless security guards got there to break it up. It also means that McIntyre has decided to go back after the OG Bloodline, and given that we do have this transfer window going on at the moment, I would move the Scottish Warrior to Friday nights, and I'd build the entire show around him. So this was good. Again, it basically told you that when Jimmy and his toe are better, they will be going and trying to get to the top. And as for Drew, in 2025, he should absolutely be the world champion. Worked for me. Tiffany Stratton was then warming up backstage, because of course she is in that US title tournament, when in walked the horrible duo of Nia Jax and LeRae. Now Jax went into manipulation mode instantly. She was all like, Tiffy time! If you do indeed win that US championship, you don't need to keep the briefcase anymore, because yeah, you'll already have a belt. She also basically told her that her and Candice will be watching later, and that sounded like a threat. What a weird threat. Imagine somebody like kidnapped your child or something, we're getting dark here, and then rang you up and said, man, we're gonna watch your match later, or you're never getting your kid back. I do not know what we're talking about. We then cut to the other part of the backstage area, because Nick Aldis was still yelling at Drew McIntyre like, man, why'd you have to make my life so hard? It was actually very well timed, because Bianca Belair and Naomi walked in, and can you believe it, the SmackDown GM wanted to talk to her. Because yes, even though Nikki could have texted them or given them a call in the week, he decided to wait until a live wrestling show, and he said, sorry Bianca Belair, we don't think Jade Cargill's going to be back for a while, so we're going to have to take those tag team titles off you. I tell you, Bianca Belair was way too sad. Naomi also dropped the line that Bianca has never relinquished anything before in her life, which doesn't make any sense when, of course, she was like, listen, I will team with Bianca Belair. So if you're starting to think that Naomi attacked Jade Cargill, well, here is more evidence. Now, Aldis did say he'd have to run this up the food chain to try and figure it out, and thankfully somebody here, I can't remember now, said, well, it has happened before, which is true. At least we're setting some ground rules. When Nick was also like, well, if we do this, you have to defend those titles last week. I was like, man, somebody better call the Judgment Day. But it turned out Tiffany Stratton was not going to do Nia Jax proud. She entered the tournament and she lost. Now I really like this for reasons that did happen later, because she was taken on Michin and Michin won. So if nothing else, we now have two people in the finals that maybe nobody predicted, and we should always do that. It's called having a surprise, and I like being surprised. Tiffany is just basically a babyface now, because we weren't even in her hometown this week and she was getting cheered. And she was also dressed like a Christmas present. I mean, why not? It's also huge for Michin as well, because again, over the last few months, she's actually got a little bit of a mini push. And while I don't think she is going to win that championship, it all counts, and she can use this hopefully to go on to bigger things in 2025. Michin also threw Tiffany to the outside when she booted her, when she was going to try something else. But there's an epidemic in WWE at the moment, and as always, Stratton put a coal in to the Mushroom Kingdom, and Mario said, "You do it, Tiffy time," and she gave Michin a stomp. Sadly, she has not learned the way of the plumber, because she then tried to do it again, and Michin was like, "I'll give you one, but I won't give you two." And instead, she kind of did it again and booted her right in the head. She also hit the DDT for a 1-2-ooh when she was going for the eat defeat, but Stratton said, "No, I'm going to hit you with the Alabama Slam." When Michin was like, "No, you're not going to hit with the Alabama Slam," and she reversed that. It was most fun. Michin then decided she was going to strangle Tiffany, which makes sense because if you can't breathe and you die, you're not going to be able to win a wrestling match. When Stratton was able to get out of that, and she went for the prettiest moonsault ever. I think she was meant to miss it, or Michin was meant to move out the way. But she was just a little bit slow, and actually she still hit it, but she wasn't meant to hit it, so we just pretend that she didn't hit it. Got it? Good. I suppose though Michin was only 50% out of this, so the other 50% did hit the eat defeat. Yeah, she got the 1, 2, 3. So Tiffany Stratton is definitely going to be cashing that briefcase soon, because WWE loves doing this. You lose, and then ta-da, you get the win. But again, we'll talk about this later. Given who we do have in the finals, I think it's very good booking. DIY then had made a little bit of a video package, because they have been screwed for way too long. Now, Johnny Gargano admitted that he had felt the same and he had masterminded this whole thing, because why were the Motor City Machine Guns allowed to debut in WWE and get a tag team title shot basically in 5 minutes? Tommaso Ciampa feels the same, but it doesn't matter because now they are champions and they have made the tag team seem better. I like this. I thought as it went on, it got better and better. I can buy them as bad guys. I think they can have lots of fun. We then went right into another video after this. So I suppose the majority of wrestlers spent their time in Premiere Pro. Or maybe Final Cut. This time it was Roman Reigns though, and yes, Paul Heyman was in the background. Roman was basically like, "Man, I've had a terrible year. I lost my title, lost my bloodline, lost my Ula Fowler. I've lost totally everything." It is the last one that irks him the most though, because Solo Sikoa never earned that, as opposed to Roman Reigns, who was have it bestowed upon him 4 years ago, or 5 years ago. I was like, well, that's kind of true, but also Roman, you did rule with an iron fist. I think you are remembering history in your own way. The whole point though is that he's a babyface now, so we just go, yes, Reigns, you did get boned, when he had the big old reveal, because come the January 6th Raw, which is the debut on Netflix, he has challenged Solo Sikoa in a Tribal Chief versus Tribal Chief match. Damn. When he wins as well, he will take his Ula Fala back and then he will be restored as a human being. So I tell you, there's a lot of power in that necklace. But seriously, all things considered, that is a massive match for that Raw. Even more so, because the other rumors are that we are going to do CM Punk versus Seth Rollins on that damn show. And all the rumors have been suggesting that WWE is going to treat it like a massive pay-per-view, premium live event. And at the moment, you bet your ass. So I actually thought this was really good. Well, out of context, it's hilarious. What the flub is he going out about? We are nerds and we do have the context. WWE must have done a good job with this because I want to see that match. Give it an up. The guy Del Fantasma then talking to Nick Aldis, and once again, this was just teasing the transfer window. Because they were basically like, "Listen, Nick, you are terrible at your job. Maybe we're going to leave." Escobar even said that maybe they'll have a phone call with Adam Pearce, although he forgot Adam Pearce's name, so he's probably not going to get a good deal, when Carmelo Hayes walked in and said, "Listen, I know you've got me a mystery opponent, but what a waste of time, because I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat him." Here's a spoiler. He did not. And yes, I know the mystery opponent match graphic looked like that I was about to get booked, but very sad that wasn't true. And instead, we actually got our first confirmed participant of the transfer window. Braun Strowman is back. Now bless Mello, because he pushed Braun, and that was the equivalent of hugging a pizza. What are you trying to achieve here? And honestly, in about a minute, even though Mello was able to hit a DDT, Braun just grabbed him out of midair, gave him the slam that is full of power, and he pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. I mean, this was very fast. Now, of course, the internet has melted down going, "Oh, we're burying Carmelo Hayes," even though he has appeared on SmackDown nearly every single episode since he was called up, and even had that amazing series with Andrade. And he fought for the US title. But still, we must get a spade and put him into the ground. But listen, I searched my feelings, I really tried. I don't have a problem with this at all. The cocky heel Carmelo Hayes went and irked the boss So the boss turned around and said, I'm going to put you in a match against a monster, and he got squished. I can only imagine that Carmelo Hayes will be transferred to Raw, and he will have a fine 2025. I'm convinced he will be the IC champion or the US champion either way, and ultimately, he's being featured on TV. More people now know who he is more than ever. People are responding to him as a heel. That's wrestling. Sometimes it has to happen. Like if he was a hero, I'd be like, oh my gosh. Or if he vanishes like Giovanni Vinci into the Phantom Zone, I'd be like, oh my gosh. But at the moment, I trust the process. WWE quite clearly into this dude. I'm giving it an up. It's perfectly fine. Once again, it's called sports entertainment. Sometimes it's just not your night. And then I was then talking to Byron Saxton backstage, and of course he doesn't like the Bloodline again. They beat him up last week. He's also handled business throughout his career, so given that Solo Sikoa has now stuck his nose into his business, he doesn't care what he said before the War Games, and he's going to go there and muck around with the Flalafufa, whatever the hell he called the Ulafala. It's actually quite funny, maybe offensive too, I don't know. He made sure to get in there that he does like Jey Uso, but who cares, because the rest of the Bloodline 2.0 have crossed the line, and it seems like we're getting this feud, and I tell you, I didn't see it coming. The Bloodline 2.0 must have been listening as well, because they walked to the ring right away. Solo did get the mic and he was like, oh, you've got to acknowledge me. So he's probably just having a little bit of a low moment. I was like, Solo, I acknowledge you. You're really fun. It also turned out he was about to face LA Knight, so clearly once again I wasn't paying attention, because that went right over my bald head. But as soon as the bell went ding, 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 I was like, quite clearly this is going to end in a disqualification. I didn't really like it though, just because it wasn't on my bingo card and it felt totally fresh like bread. And yeah, the first thing they did is throw punches at each other. Sikoa then threw Knight into the ring apron, into Alan the announce table, and into Barry Barricade, which is why I'm wearing this shirt today that you can get on ProWrestlingTees.com/Simon Miller, because our poor wrestling friends were being murked. It taught LALS a no, because he then threw Sikoa into Simba the Steel Steps, so he almost had a full house. When they got back into the ring, Solo hit the Samoan drop. And don't worry, he is most definitely Samoan. Knight then hit a bulldog, and don't worry, he is not a mutt, when he went after Tama Tonga on the outside, which kind of did make sense, because at least he watches the show, the Bloodline 2.0 get involved all the time. It did distract Knight though, who then got spinning soloed through Alan the announce table, or at least onto it. And the referee was totally fine with this. It's okay, you do what you want. Sikoa, bless him, was then mocking the Superman pose, and you can't do that in 2024, because LA Knight was then back on the up. Because he was so worried about the Bloodline, he then went and got rid of Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, and even I, being an idiot, was like, man, La, you should not have done that. I mean, I suppose it worked for a while, because he was able to hit his big elbow for a 1-2. When in the background, especially given that it was Friday the 14th, Jacob Fatu just rose from the ashes like some kind of psycho killer. And as soon as he saw Knight was close to the ropes, he started to choke him. Surprise, surprise, that's a DQ, and also technically is a crime. That was such an amazing shot though, and while I didn't mind this disqualification, because Jacob is just too much fun. And LA Knight really should have known this. You don't piss off the beast. I think it continued to laugh as well, because Apollo Crews and Andrade came out to make the save, but this was the equivalent of throwing some cheddar cheese at the Bloodline. It did nothing, and they just took them out. And I was like, well, what a fat lot of good that was. It is smart though, because the Bloodline 2.0 do need to feel threatening at the moment, because they did lose at the War Games, and now we are doing Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns. So actually, once again, I just thought this felt like something new, and I like new, because otherwise it's old. I'm going to give it an up. And eventually, if LA Knight and Solo Sikoa fight over the US title, or maybe we give it to Jacob Fatu, well, that is good with me. When SmackDown may have peaked, Braun Strowman was stomping around backstage going, raw, when he bumped into Pretty Deadly. And without missing a beat, they went, hey, Braun, do you want to be in Pretty Deadly the musical? And of course he said no. And then it got really weird because he bumped into Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, and Grayson was like, all right, mate, you don't want to be on that, but do you want to be on the Grayson Waller Theory? And Braun agreed to that one. It's like, dude, you definitely picked the wrong option. Who doesn't want to be in Pretty Deadly the musical? Which, by the way, I need yesterday. It's been too long. When I was just so damn happy because it was on the semi-final for the US Women's Championship, Bayley versus Chelsea Green. And while Bayley is a legend and Bayley is an all-timer, I was desperate for Chelsea to win, and she did. And once again, we talked about this last week. It's such good booking because now it is Michin versus Chelsea Green in the finals. And the last time we saw them, they were having the dumpster match, and Michin won that one. So you have to presume later on Saturday's main event, it will be Chelsea that gets the nod. And I like the fact there was like lots of time between it too. It just makes you feel rewarded for watching. Bless Chelsea as well, because the first thing that happened to her is she did get Bayley to belly and almost lost when she got up and she slapped Bales. And I was like, I think that was a good idea. Bales then went arm drag crazy to the point Chelsea ran away. But of course that meant she went to the outside where Piper Niven was waiting and she pipered Bayley. I don't know what that means. She just attacked her. Green was then trying the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up, but that didn't work. Especially because Bayley then grabbed her and threw her into the ring post. And I mean, that is a better strategy. I think Bayley was going to go to the top rope, but instead Chelsea Green kneed her in the face. And then we got even more most devastating moves in all of sports entertainment, surprise roll-up for more 1-2-oohs. Listen, maybe some bits were a little bit clunky, but overall I thought it was a fun match. It looked like Bayley was about to win as well when Piper just dragged Chelsea out the ring. Once again, the referee was fine with this. So Bayley, of course, was like, fine, I am in the air, now I'm going to jump on you, Piper. That was a terrible idea, because Chelsea Green grabbed her. She threw Bayley over barricade into Timmy the Timekeeper's area, almost got the count-out win. She would have been fine with that. When Bayley got back in the squared circle, Chelsea booted her right in the skull. She hit the unprettier, and she got the 1-2-3. So of course it wasn't a clean win because Piper Niven helped out, but I don't care. And doesn't it just sum up wrestling? Like, once again, it was a perfectly fine match. Maybe nothing to write home about, but once again, it's not about the moves. It's about the story and what you get at the end. When Chelsea Green got that victory, I was cheering because I have serious problems. Here's the secret sauce though, and again, Chelsea Green could win her first ever WWE title tonight. That is getting it up. We then had another video because the Motor City Machine Guns were responding to DIY. They were like, I can't believe you did this to us, you horrible people. When we found out it's actually going to be Johnny Gargano versus Alex Shelley next week. Honestly, I never thought I would see that on WWE TV. We are living in the good time. It was also back-to-back vignettes as well, because we went straight to one with Shinsuke Nakamura. And I tell you, this character is so damn cool that I have decided to ruin it because I'm going to recite what he said in Japanese in English. I'm going to apply a pitch shifter to my voice. I'm going to add dumb music. And I'm totally going to ruin the vibe. Sound good? Let's go.
Do you feel it? A shift has taken place. No longer will the feeble, weak-minded be praised as victors. Their weakness hidden behind false confidence will be dragged into the light for all to see. And one by one they will fall before my feet, broken, humiliated, and forgotten. LA was just the beginning. He held something he never deserved, something he never should have touched. And now he claws for what he cannot have, what is no longer his, what never truly was. I am imminent. I am inevitable.
So now he's Thanos. Seriously, that's really, really good. I ruined it. I'm giving it up. We also saw Tiffany Stratton licking her wounds when in walked her best buddy Nia Jax. Basically went, don't worry about it, Tiff. Some people just aren't meant to be champions. I was like, well, that is the biggest seed we planted yet. Candice was here as well, and because Naomi and Bianca do have to have a tag team match next week, it is going to be Nia Jax versus LeRae, where they basically yelled at Tiffany Stratton, and they were horrible. I mean, they got like this close to her face. So she's definitely going to go babyface and cash in her briefcase. And once again, I would do it on that January 6th Raw. It's just the time. When we got all our promotion for Saturday's main event, which made all the sense in the world because it was also time for Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes to have a chat. That's how it was sold to us. I was hoping they were going to have some tea. I am so pumped for this match though, because these two have done a great job, and after Cody had walked to the ring, of course they told Kevin Owens to get his ass out here. He didn't show. So instead, Rhodes told Michael Cole they would do the interview themselves. This was kind of important, because they went back to that teasing that Cody Rhodes and Triple H had done on social media this week, and it does actually feel like on Saturday's main event, Cody will walk to the ring with the Winged Eagle title. And I tell you why that's a big deal, because bam! That's right, I love that belt so much, I got a replica one, so WWE better be prepared. If this does turn out to be a one and only type deal, I am gonna bitch, whine, and moan on the internet. And it won't change anything. That's just what we do in 2024. KO then appeared on the big screen because he was cutting another promo from his car, which may be my favorite promo style at the moment, and he doubled down on everything he had said recently. Cody, you are not a good friend. You only finished your story at WrestleMania 40 because you used all your buddies, and then as soon as we didn't suit you anymore, you basically turned your back. KO also said that Cody was a terrible father and a terrible brother. The best thing about this is that Owens was essentially insinuating after he had gone and talked to Cody's daughter and she gave him the hot scoop. Oh yeah, man, he's a terrible dad. And Kev was like, great, I can use this. He also had the best line of the entire night, which he was happy to reveal now when he said, Cody Rhodes, I just want to let you know that you as the WWE champion is far less interesting than Stardust. And he was even wearing a Stardust tee. So that's it, my friends, he's my wrestler of the year. The whole thing then went home alone because Cody stormed to the back and he was going, Kevin, when Owens must have used his teleporter because he came out of nowhere and he attacked. They then got into this massive brawl. Eventually they did fight back to the ring where they were just throwing all the fisticuffs. And I presume this is when Nick Aldis was like, no, this is not good for Saturday Night's main event. And out came all of the officials and the useless wrestling security. Now, once again, they sucked. They couldn't do anything, and Cody broke free, and he splashed Kevin Owens. But that basically meant that more guys needed to go on to Rhodes, which freed up KO because he now had the WWE Championship. He smacked Cody Rhodes right in the head. He also sort of held this title aloft when he threw it over Cody Rhodes' dead body. My only worry about this is that if we do go back to wrestling tropes, it means Kevin Owens is going to lose later. We wait and see. But in terms of a go-home angle, this just did such a good job, which has been the case since minute one, and I cannot wait to see what the plan for this is, which is the point. You're meant to go into these big events going, what is going to happen? Don't make that noise. But it's getting it up. And as you can see, I really enjoyed this episode of SmackDown. It was not perfect, but there was nothing really that deserved a down. I know some people will be going, you should have given the Carmelo Hayes thing a down, but we need to wait and see. Again, sometimes the heel does just need to get smashed, which is a terrible sentence. I'm giving SmackDown an up. Now, of course, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Drop me a comment below and let me know what you thought about last night's episode of SmackDown, and give me your prediction for Saturday night's main event. You can also click the video on the screen, which is ups and downs from Monday Night Raw. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow, my friends, and I love you lots. Goodbye.